Well, I want to show you my newest toy. It's this right here. It's a Wilson neck die, and as you can see, it's for 22-250, or it could be for a 250 Savage, and it is a neck die made by Wilson. Right here it's upside down. You can see the decapping pin that sticks out. It's also an ejector pin. It's pretty simple what it does. It maybe looks a little complicated from the outside because you can't really tell what's going on. But let me open it up, and when we look inside, you'll see what I mean. Okay, I will take one screw out, the other screw is loose, and you just simply pull the ejector rod out. It's got a friction fit. And then on the inside, you can see there is a bushing. And these bushings come in different sizes. This particular bushing is size 248.248. And we'll get into that in a minute. I have several of these in different sizes from 244, 246, 47, 48, and 49. And this is what is going to size the neck of the cartridge. Now if I take a cartridge and put it up in here, just push it up with my finger, you can see that it lifts that out because it's not constrained anymore. And there you can see the cartridge, the case down inside, and in the little chamber where the neck sizing die resides, or the neck sizing ring resides, and bushing. So there it is. As far as the other end is concerned, this is shaped exactly like the chamber of a 223 minimum size, so you get this really nice close fit. See, that's it. It's in there perfectly. There's no wiggle or wobble or anything else. And right now I can just sort of use something to push it out. So we tighten the two screws that hold the cap on, which of course now has the bushing underneath it. And we take our decapping pin and push rod and put it back in, and you'll notice there is a set screw here, and there's another one on the opposite side, and those press against some small felt pads down inside, which in turn give you a friction fit on that to keep it from jumping in or out. And here's how it works. You just simply put, now here's a case. Before we get too far here, let's talk about this case. This case has been fired in my 22-250, and that's it. It hasn't been resized or anything. And so at this point, I'll stick it in. Well, and before I do that, we want to know, all right, how do we know which ring, which bushing to use? And I bought another gadget to find that out. And it's a neck size indicator. And we have this little mandrel that we're going to slide the case neck up onto, and then there's a dial indicator. And if I slide it up on there, oops, if I can get it. Can't do this reaching over. So now you notice that the dial indicator is reading, and I'm going to handhold this so you can kind of see what's going on. And it's reading about, well, my thing slipped off of it there. Reading about 14 to 15 thousandths of an inch. That's the neck thickness. So basically 14 to 15 thousandths. And so if we take 14 and double it, then we would have 28. 28 thousandths plus 224 thousandths, which is the diameter of the bullet. 224 and 28 is 52. So once this is pushed in there. Right now it's loose. Well, as a matter of fact, we probably can see. Yeah, it's kind of a loose fit because it's been fired, obviously. And if we take our caliber, that should read right at 252. Let's just see what it does read. 254. Okay. Well, obviously it's going to be 253 and a half. It's going to be more than 252 because if it was 252, it wouldn't go in. And that's just a super loose fit, but that'll give you an idea of what we're looking for. So we're looking for about 252 to be a zero compression. There's absolutely no squeeze on it at 252. And we'd like to take it down from there. So I've got a 248 bushing in there, and theoretically that's 4 thousandths. Keep in mind that also went up to 15, so maybe a little over, but we'll see what happens here. That may be just a touch tight. And then what I'll do, put a little bit of lube on just the neck because that's all we're going to size. And now this is what's neat. You can use these things, and they were developed especially for use in the field by bench rest shooters where you don't have traditional presses. So what you use is a little hammer. I'll try to do this. I'm reaching over the camera. Okay, so that's it. It's been pressed down in there. In fact, you can see the primer's already starting to try to come out. So if I come back to the other side, there's the primer. Came out of my fingers, and then tap on that, and there's our case. So now we've deprimed it. Get that out of the way. And we've resized the neck. This neck should read about 248 and a half, 249. Let's see what in fact it does read. 250. Oh, okay, there we go. 248 and a half. 247. Oh, yeah. And a half. 247 and a half. Okay. So it squeezed it down. Now what remains to do is obviously we would put a primer in. We would add powder. You know how to do all that, so I'm not going to do it. Got one more gizmo here, and that is our bullet seater. And this is again made for a particular caliber because it's a precise chamber fit on the inside. This thing goes down in there, and that's it. And it's tight as a drum, and I can get out with your fingernail. Okay. But what happens is when it goes in with a bullet, the bullet will press against the stem down inside. Let me gently take this out and I'll show you. So the bullet's going to press against that rod, and okay, and lift it out slightly, and then we want to push it back down, and that will seat the bullet. Okay, so we got a little base to put the thing on, and we set this bullet. I've been playing with it, and you can see that is one more boogered up bullet. So set that up there on that, and then just set it on top. Now watch, you see, there's our gap. Now you can't do it with your thumb. You just don't have that much. Well, you probably could, but you're going to wind up with a bruised thumb if you try to do that very much. So one more gizmo that I bought is a little arbor press, and let's see if we back up enough where you can really see it. There you go. And it's pretty nice, and comes down like that, and then that's it. I just pushed it right on down. And so we take that out, and there's the case up in there, and take a screwdriver or a fingernail, really, usually. And there's our perfectly done bullet. And I measured the run out on these, and they were running anywhere from 1/2 to 1/1000th of run out, or maybe a 1/1000th and a half at the most, which is amazing and something I've not been able to do before. So there you have it. Yay, Wilson.